This is where the fun begins.
But we've seen this movie before.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Is the Arkansas athletic program cursed? But you never know what the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen with your hosts, Razorback Zach and Marcus MC Carlton.
Let me talk to you.
It's time to go dancing, boys. What's up, everybody? Welcome into an all-new episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. I am your host, as always, from the Central Arkansas Hawg Pen, Razorback Zach, alongside my buddy, my co-host, cohort, and professionally proven glue that holds the whole damn thing together, Marcus MC Carlton. MC, dude, I'm digging the cream. Yeah. It's like we got something special going on.
Yeah, it's almost like we did this on purpose, you know?
I know, right? But got a very special edition of Inside the Hawg Pen tonight. Is a 2-hour edition of Inside the Hawg Pen, leading you up to tip-off of Arkansas and Texas Tech at 9:09, 9:05?
9:09, so yeah. Way too late for this old man, I can tell you that.
Wait, you're not going to stay up and watch it?
Dude, I've been drinking caffeine all day. I'll be lucky to be able to go to bed tonight when this thing's over. So.
Hey, I'm down to do a post-game show if we win. Don't tempt me with a good time.
It'll be Inside the Hawg Pen post-game after dark.
Hey,
it might be daylight by the time we get done.
We've had a couple of those, man. Hey, we've had a couple of them. Hey, make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on 101.1 FM The Answer here in Central Arkansas, or the app 101.1 FM The Answer. I will have a very special guest who is also a guest here tonight, by the way.
Yeah, looking forward to this, man. It's going to be fun.
This is exciting. I mean, I'm excited about it. Looking forward to talking to him in the morning. But make sure you guys tune in, and I will have another special guest in studio with me, MC. Before we get to our guest tonight, my daughter is going to be in studio with me tomorrow morning. So
okay, you got the boss with you tomorrow.
Yeah. Backstory about that. In 99, I think I was in like 6th grade. And my dad had taken me on spring break to meet the legendary Craig O'Neill when he was with B98 down here. Mm-hmm. We played a fantastic, funny as all get out prank on my mother that is still referenced to this day sometimes.
Nice.
And little did I know that it would set me down a path where we are today. And now I get to do that with my kid, is to take her to a radio station. So I'm looking forward to that. But, dude, without further ado, it's time to introduce our guest tonight. And really excited about it. Former Arkansas Razorback Chris Lanzilli joins the Hawg Pen. What's up, Chris?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on, man.
So,
awesome. Yeah, it's a big night ahead of us.
Absolutely, man.
Long night, baby. Long night.
Yeah.
So I'll start off, and I want to break the ice. I'm just going to ask you straight out. What do you think about this NIL situation in college athletics right now?
Yeah, I mean, I get what both sides are saying about it. But as like kind of a recent college grad, I mean, to be able to make money, I can't really hear the negatives to it, just because like it can change your life. Like, are you going to turn down money as a college kid? $20 in college was a lot to me, you know. That would buy me some beers and stuff. If you're getting $1 million, I can't criticize anybody for taking it. In terms of like the rule makers, you know, there's got to be some sort of, you know, like you can't. There's got to be some sort of regulation to it where, you know, the reason I'm not a rule maker is because I have like the good ideas, so I'm not going to say anything too specific. But there's got to be something to kind of regulate it a little bit to make college sports a little more fair. But I'm all for kids making money. I just like I'm not really deep into the argument of the other side of things, but I can understand what people are saying. Kind of makes it like too much like a professional sport.
Well, and I think NIL in principle, to be what it was originally meant to be, is a great thing. But you know, it's just like anything else. There's always somebody that's going to find a loophole and try to expose the loophole to where, you know, it's kind of become the it's not what it was intended to be, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's, I kind of feel like that the bell has been rung now. And once you ring a bell, you can't unring it. So I'm not sure how you could go back at this point and try to regulate it after you've let it go the way it's gone to this point.
Exactly. And like, it's such a complicated situation, but people are so creative out there that I think somebody's got an idea that's gonna, somebody's got an idea that's gonna roll it into something nice. Talk to Elon Musk, see if he's got some creativity.
There you go. He seems to have the ideas. So so for those who may not be as familiar with you as we are, let our fan base know you played 1 year for the Razorbacks in 2022, correct?
Yes, I did.
And just to kind of help set the scene a little bit, throw out some teammates that you played with.
Yeah, I'll name kind of around the field. So Wallace was third base. Yep. Catcher was Turner. First base was Slavin. Second base, Robert Moore. Shortstop, Jalen Battles. I was usually in right or left. Jace Borfin. He switched off with me. And then center field was Braden Webb. So that was the team. That was a pretty stacked squad we got there. Yeah. Some good dudes on there as well.
Yeah, within one game of the championship series in Omaha. And that was a fun ride to watch, man. I can't imagine how much fun you guys had rolling through Stillwater and then through Chapel Hill and all the way up to Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Most of the memories are obviously from either Stillwater or Omaha. Like, we kind of forget about Chapel Hill because, like, right. No offense to that team, but we were way better than them. It was kind of like we were going to Omaha once we were there, Yeah. Kind of not quite as fun of games. But the Oklahoma State series, holy crap. Those were just so many. I don't know if the balls were juiced there or what
that was a long game.
Yeah. I don't know that Jalen Battles' ball has landed yet, has it?
Yeah, no, exactly. That was a bomb. And then I think I'm gonna be honest, unfortunately, it was off of Evan Taylor, who was like one of our best pitchers, but one of their guys, I forget what his name was, but he hit the furthest ball I've ever seen in my life. I think that one actually went over the parking lot.
I remember. I don't remember who hit it, but I remember the shot you're talking about.
Yeah, it was the kid that pitches the end hits, and he was like a second rounder, Nolan something, or
I'll have to. I'll ask Grok here in a minute. You mentioned Elon Musk. I'll get on Grok and find it.
Grok's my buddy too.
But I mean, the run that you guys had that year, and a lot of people don't realize towards the end of the season, you guys kind of hit a slump right there at the end of the regular season, and it kind of carried over into Hoover a little bit. But then you come out of that, you get into Stillwater, and this was about the time that the whole rental player thing really took off and caught fire. And, your catcher, Michael Turner, man, he used that as fuel because he turned into like just looked like he was seeing beach balls every time he was at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job there. He on the field and off the field racked in some money, and then did obviously had a hell of a postseason. I'm saying an off season. Yeah, had a hell of a postseason. Well. I feel like a ton of guys stepped up in the postseason. I mean, I remember Stovall had like a crazy average in the postseason.
Oh yeah,
a lot of the pitchers did really well. It was kind of like everybody got hot at the same time, which was awesome.
And that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just unfortunate that like it's not always the best. I felt like we were one of the best teams there, and Ole Miss was just like kind of a random team that made the playoffs by the in the last minute. They shouldn't even have, if their name wasn't Ole Miss, they probably wouldn't even have been in it. So they ended up getting hot and winning it. So
I mean, they got hot at the right time, and here's something that really. This is an Arkansas saying, but it really sticks in my craw a little bit about Ole Miss even making the tournament that year. So I live in Jonesboro, which is over in the northeast corner of the state. Arkansas State is over here. Yeah. Towards the end of the regular season, Ole Miss had a game scheduled with Arkansas State, and they ended up canceling it because win or lose, it was going to hurt their RPI so much.
Right.
And so they canceled that. And to this day, I have some friends that are Ole Miss fans. Don't hold that against me. But I tell them to this day that the only reason they got in is because they were afraid to play Arkansas State, because of what it was going to do to their RPI.
Right.
So
Yeah.
last team in and last team standing. It was kind of sickening, honestly.
Exactly. I've heard some sketchy. I play with a lot of Ole Miss guys with the White Sox, and I heard some sketchy exaggerations from their side of things, saying their coach got them in somehow, this and that. I don't have specifics of it, but I do remember hearing some murmuring and not if it was Johnny mid-major, they wouldn't have got in with their resume.
Agreed.
And all. It was because of their names, Ole Miss, obviously. You know?
We said
but they won it. What are you gonna do? You know.
I mean, they got hot at the right time, and as you said, man, that's usually a big piece of it. And hey, speaking of getting hot, I mean, you were seeing beach balls pretty well once you boys got to Omaha too. I mean, felt like every time you come up to the plate, it was a threat to end up in the left field stands.
Yeah, I mean, those are sick times in baseball when you're feeling really good, because there's also times when you just suck and it's just like it's impossible to hit. But during Omaha, to have it be like that, I lucked out, because I was really locked in and I was just kind of having a blast on the field, and that's when it works out the most. You know? So
one thing I was looking at when I was doing my research for this interview, you had a shot that you hit at Hoover in the SEC tournament, and I didn't get to go that year, but this last year I got to go, and I did not realize how much of just a moonshot that was until I got to Hoover and saw, kind of the area of where that ball landed. I mean, that, I'm surprised there was a cover left on that one.
Yeah, that one I hit hard. I knew it was gone. I'm not sure why Alabama had that kid in throwing. He was throwing like mid-80s, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with it. And I hit it really hard and really far. So I was proud of it. But they had our number that time. The Alabama, we lost 2 out of 3 in the series, and then we lost in the SEC tournament. We were like, what the heck is this team? They were a random squad that was just kicking our butts.
But sometimes, in baseball, sometimes it happens that way. There's a team that, you're obviously more talented than, but for some reason they have your number. I mean, I've seen it on every level. It just happens. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, when I was coming from Wake Forest, I know exactly how that is, because we always had a really talented team. We just never won. It was very unfortunate, but yeah, that's how baseball is,
Yeah.
Fortunately for Arkansas, they're consistently just winning every year.
Hey, Chris, I've got somebody else waiting in the wings to talk to you, but we got to take a quick break. When we come back, D-Mad's going to join the show. I'm going to step out for a little bit and let D-Mad and MC run it, because I get to have a conversation with Chris in the morning. You're watching and listening to Inside the Hawg Pen. Right. Back right after this.
Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right. Welcome back into Inside the Hawg Pen. Special guest tonight, Chris Lanzilli, former Diamond Hog and a member of the 2022 team that went to Omaha, got within one game of the championship series. Our boy Dylan Madden is in here with us now. D-Mad's kind of the one that set this up. So D-Mad, I'm gonna hand off to you and let you kind of roll with it, man.
Man, I'm just here for a conversation, you know. And it seems like our fans are in the comments saying that he's a man of the people. So,
where can I see those comments? Let's see.
There's a little tab that says private chat on your screen. You can kind of go through it and look at it. But man, Chris, I really appreciate you even reaching back out to us, like, because it is really cool to have a former Razorback. I've been going to games since I was a kid. I think I told you that the other day, but yeah, Chris Boss at the bat.
Nice.
But we used to call him ibuprofen, Borfin.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. I kind of came in, wheels turning, real smoking in here. I don't know exactly where MC left off or started out, but we know that you grew up in, was it Massachusetts? I'm thinking off the top of my head. I kind of asked you this question as a leading question the other day. I want you to tell everybody, like, why Arkansas?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just, you know, like I said, I said before, I've been asked this question a million times. It's hard to like pinpoint the answer, but obviously coming to a fan base, to a winning program. I mean, the fan, like it's there's nothing like playing in front of 10, 11,000 people and then like consistently doing that. In a college baseball, there's a handful of schools that happens for. I came into this thinking those two things: winning program and huge fan base. And then I come to Northwest Arkansas, and from Boston area, don't really know anything about Arkansas or anywhere around there. Nobody that I know has ever been to the state. And I come to Northwest Arkansas, and it's just like one of the best. Like I would live there for sure. I hope someday I can spend a little bit more time in Northwest Arkansas, but I just absolutely love the place. I didn't expect to. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Like, if I'm being honest,
you thought it was going to be really country, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a lot different. And you know, you see it ranked in some of the lists where it's the top places to live, and I totally get that because it's just an amazing place. And so I like heading there, I was excited about it, but leaving there, I was like, damn, I wish I could stay, you know?
Yeah. Wish you could have spent a little bit more time. You know, God, I just lost my track where I was going. You know, I got a question. I got a personal question to ask you. How many times have you been told about Pat Bradley?
Yeah, a good amount. I've actually met
that's fine.
Well, actually, the first time I went to JJ's was like late night JJ's when they were checking IDs, and they were like, Massachusetts. The only other Massachusetts ID we seen was Pat Bradley, and I didn't know who he was at the time because that was at the beginning of the year when I was playing there, and but yeah, I got interested. My dad actually saw him at the gym because he goes to the same gym that I go to around here, and that's how I got introduced to him. It's kind of funny, small world.
Yeah, who would have thought two guys from Massachusetts would be known in Arkansas for being Razorbacks and being legends in their sport? I mean, what are the chances?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It seems like he's you know, continuing on with the media stuff, which is awesome. So he's sticking around Arkansas, it seems like.
Yeah,
I'm gonna kick it right back to our comment section. We got Carolyn Williams in here. She says, "How does Baum Walker compare to some of the minor league stadiums you've played in?" Yeah,
I mean, Baum Walker is the best place that I've ever played. The minor league stadiums that I played in were not really comparable at all. Like they. Like I played in Winston-Salem for the Winston-Salem Dash, and we probably had like, you could count. I actually, on the days that I sat, I would count how many fans, and like the most we ever had was like 400. It was hilarious.
That's pretty wild.
Did you ever get to play in Little Rock against the Travelers or anything like that?
No, only when I was at the University of Arkansas.
Okay. How's that stadium compared to most stadiums? Because I have a feeling that it's actually one of the upper tier stadiums. We have I'm in Little Rock, obviously, but we have a owner that prides himself with that stadium, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome when we were there. I don't have the best memory of it, but it was a nice stadium. It seemed like we fit in a ton of people there. There was definitely fire hazards. Like people were crammed in there.
Yeah, that's one of those stadiums where they sell the beer garden tickets.
Yeah.
And basically anyone with a pulse is allowed to buy a $5 ticket to get in there.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of motoring on here. I don't know if MC asked you this, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit you with it. I think you told us the other night, but I want to hear it again. What was your favorite moment at the University of Arkansas?
I think I said 2, and I stick by them. There was one I remember that we were in Omaha, and so I was playing right field. Here's my dog, by the way. He just stepped up.
Oh, we're big dog people, man. So that's cool.
And the whole right field section, I don't know how many people were out there, but it was us against Ole Miss, and the whole right field section was singing happy birthday because it was my birthday. I think it was us against Ole Miss. Pretty sure. I don't know. It was us against somebody, and there was thousands of people out there, and they were singing happy birthday to me, and I was like,
did you say it was Stanford, or that was the other memory? Yep, that's the other.
Yeah. I'll tell that one in one sec. But I was like, I wish I could have a few more years at this school because I mean this place is ridiculous. I mean I've never felt I'm not like I'm just a regular person, and you guys make me feel like a movie star, you know. And then the second best memory is the Stanford one when their starter was like talking crap about our lineup and saying it'll shut us down and everything. We beat them like 18-2 or something bad. We spanked them.
Well, and I'm trying to remember back. Stanford had beat you guys early on in Round Rock at the classic that you guys went to in Texas to kind of open up the season. And I don't remember much about that game, but I know the final score was 5-0 from looking at the old schedule. So I mean, revenge kind of played into that a little bit, and I think Stanford saw how you guys kind of limped into the postseason a little bit.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
They probably kind of felt like they had your number.
Yeah, but I mean, you're totally right about all that. But I mean, when we went to Texas, I was like, it was 20 degrees. I was like, I left Massachusetts to get out of this stuff. But they looked like the best team in the country back then. It's funny how there's so many ups and downs throughout the season because teams get like we've said before, teams get hot and cold.
June 18th was against Stanford too. So
it was again. Okay, that was the same game, man. Best day ever.
How about that? That's pretty cool. Hey, I want to talk a little bit. I tried to do a little bit of research here on you before we did this interview today. And I read this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this says here that your brother Cam was a big influence on your baseball journey.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, about your brother.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I talked about it in the post game against Stanford. That's another Stanford day. But so he's just a baseball genius, and he has a lot of feel for the game. So he's like kind of bridges the gap between like new school and old school. Like he's aware of all the numbers, and he knows all the data. He knows how to interpret everything. But he was also a D2 grinder, and he kind of just like understands the grind of baseball and knows that numbers aren't the full story, but like kind of combines the two, new school and old school to he's a pitching coach. He was with the Orioles. Now now me and him are doing our own thing. So he just went from the Orioles to Kinetic Pro, which is like a smaller version of like a tread or something like that. And then now me and him are doing our own baseball training type thing where I'm the strength coach and hitting guy, and he's the pitching guy. He's just an absolute genius. I've learned so much about baseball from him, and I continue to. He's if you hear him talk, he sounds like an absolute genius. He's a lot smarter than me.
That's really cool. That's got to be really cool to be able to work with your brother like that and be involved and still be involved in baseball. Get a game that has meant so much to both of you.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome because he's had a clientele for forever of pro and college guys, and to kind of step in and help him out with that is awesome because business with your family it probably is not always good, but so far it's been awesome, and it makes our parents happy, and we do a good job, I think.
Very cool. Hey, feel free to plug it, man. I mean, throw it out there, and we'll get some publicity around it.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
So, looking back, you did spend time at Wake Forest, and then correct me if I'm wrong here, because if I'm wrong, it's Grok's fault, because Grok helped me with my research.
Oh man, that's sick. Yeah.
But you thought about walking away from the game at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that and what changed your mind and led you to come to Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a funny, or like kind of a. I used to think of it as a sad baseball journey, but now I don't really have too many emotions about it, because it's like, who's luckier than me? I mean, I got an opportunity to play at Wake Forest, Arkansas, and then I got a little chance in the pros. Like, there's no really complaining about it. It's just, I did some time at Wake Forest, obviously, or most of my time at Wake Forest. Mm-hmm. Started my freshman year slow, and then had like, not to be an a-hole and brag, but I was kind of seeing beach balls the second half of the year, and that was the second half of my freshman year, and so I had a decent reputation coming into my sophomore year. I was sophomore eligible, and had a pretty good year then. Had like 350 with 16 homers, and was projected to get drafted pretty high, and kind of like had some complications with an agent that I had, and ended up not taking the money that I was going to be offered, and just got taken as like a courtesy pick at the end of the draft, just because I already taken my name out of the draft, and went back my junior year. Junior year was COVID. I was having a pretty good year, and then obviously COVID happened. Didn't get taken in the 5 rounds. Was offered like some free agent stuff, and I kind of wasn't happy about that. And so I went back for my senior year at Wake, and I really didn't like give my best effort. Before then, I was really thinking about quitting, just because I was like, I kind of got into a depressed state off the field. Like I can admit that now, because it's past the time, and I'm
sure
doing great in life. But I was kind of like not in the best state, and I wasn't in the best state to play on the field. Like I didn't give my full effort. I kind of made a fool of myself out there, and ended up having a terrible year because of it. And then if I did that year at Arkansas, I would have got cut just because of how bad my attitude was, and then how bad my play was because of that. And then went to Arkansas for the fall. Kind of had a horrible fall, and was still thinking about like, hey, maybe I should hang it up, because some things that happened there in the fall too that I was kind of questioning. And then I come out for the first game, and it's just I was just having a great time because of first home game I'm talking about, just because of how much energy there was, the crowd, and I was like, I've never seen baseball like this. This is awesome. So it kind of like re-energized me for the game of baseball for the last few years. Cool. And so coming to Arkansas really had such like an impact on me, and that's why I always want to, like, you guys, anytime you want me to come on, or like anytime you need anything, like I want to give back to Arkansas in any way that I can, because I mean every fan there, whether they were talking good or talking bad, like they showed up, and it was the most badass thing I've ever been a part of. So I just really want to kind of show my appreciation for the state and the city of Fayetteville too, and the school.
Man, I got to be honest, man, that to hear that from a former player is so cool, because as you well know, man, when we get into bomb and we get started getting rowdy, I mean, it just means so much to the fans there, that to hear your side of it is really cool, that it really does affect you guys, and kind of like you talk about, it re-energized you for baseball, seeing that crowd at bomb. So that, to me, that as a fan, I'm loving that.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of crazy, because when you're Wake Forest is a great baseball school, but they don't have any fans really. And when you're at a school even like that, where it's top tier baseball, but you just don't get support, is you look at a school like Arkansas, and you're just like, it's a whole nother level. You don't even know what to expect there. It's such a cool thing. You look up to those guys that play at those schools, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. Here's another comment. And she's kind of echoing the same thing I was saying about, to hear you talk about how important the fans were. So that there you go. There's another example. And we did not plan that. That just happened to fall that way on the comments. So
And
I want to know where Carolyn sits. I want to know where she sits at the game.
in the Hawg Pen.
Oh, she's at the Hawg Pen?
More than likely. But something I picked up on that is, hey, you don't ever have to apologize for kind of patting yourself on the back. you have done something that me, MC, definitely Zach. Sorry, I just had to shoot a stray over there. Make sure he's paying attention. You've done something that 99% of people will never be able to do. And honestly, that's kind of what I've always thought is like, people don't really understand how hard it is to hit a 100-mile fastball and then follow it up with a 85-mile-an-hour curveball. People don't understand how hard that is. It does take a mental toll to be able to do that. And I just don't ever apologize for giving yourself credit, because you've earned it. You put in so much more work than any of us people on Twitter would ever say. And I just want to kind of give that to you. And with the Twitter thing, I have to turn to Zach's favorite person on Arkansas. And, we kind of talked about it the other day with Nate Thompson. And I was telling you the other day, like, I kind of feel like, it's a difficult subject. I'm sorry I'm putting you in this position. We can move on if you want to, but, Arkansas Twitter freaks out over Nate Thompson. And I just want you to get this opportunity to tell everybody how much you love Nate Thompson.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do love Nate. Like I said the other day, like, I would go to bat for him, defend him against anything. He's a really smart dude. His philosophies are really good. It's just, I was saying to you the other day that I think certain times, how do I word this? Of course, as a fan, when you're a top tier program, when you're not having success consistently, there's somebody to blame. And I totally get that. It's just from the player's perspective, I hit a particular way, and I was a fit there, so I had a lot of experience, but I hit a particular way, and I continued to hit that way at Wake Forest and at Arkansas. I was me, and I knew my swing, and I took accountability. And of course, your coach has a big effect on you. And he should be there for you, and he should be knowledgeable, and that should be a big resource for you, which he is. But at some point, there's got to be some accountability with the players as well, because it's your career. I mean, you want to play well for yourself. You want to play well for your team. You want to win, a national championship. You want to, you have a lot of goals there. But this is your career. You want to get drafted as well. You want to play for a long time, and that's up to you. That's not up to your coach. I don't know. It's just my perspective as a former player, and that's not. And I'm not saying that should be accepted as a fan perspective, because there's got to be somebody to blame, of course. And this year it's working out a lot better, which I'm happy about. So it's kind of like
Nick Saban in Alabama, like whenever they had 2 losses, Saban's past his prime. Whenever Arkansas had that skid and everybody was freaking out about Cal was washed, Zach. But no, it's one thing that everybody starts freaking out, everybody starts pointing fingers, and sometimes the best thing to do is just calm down.
No, I mean, I'll probably be one of those people on Twitter soon, pointing fingers, but I get it, and I thought, I mean, some people deserve it, but it's just I'm saying personally, I love Nate, and I think he's, I don't know, I want to find out what he's doing this year. In terms of like what's working out, and obviously something is, because they're having a crazy good year offensively, and I'm really happy for them. Well,
and I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to ask you, after being around the program and being around not just Nate, but the entire staff, does something feel different with this team? Because it just this year's team, because like you said, man, we said this about a few other people, but it feels like now where in the past it kind of felt like there was a lot more emphasis put on the deep ball. Now it feels like guys are kind of slapping the ball around. If there's guys on, instead of guys swinging for the fence, they're just trying to slap a single to get the run in. I mean, do you see it that way, or am I just way off base here?
Kind of, but they are hitting a lot of home runs. They're hitting a lot of extra base hits, homers, doubles. Yeah. But yeah, there is. I mean, I'm sure DVH loves like team baseball. Like he loves if you get a bunt down, or if you get a runner over, or have a really good 2-strike at bat and foul a bunch of pitches off, then poke one through a hole or something. He's that guy. He's like typical old school baseball that like he just loves when you grind. So I'm sure he has a big effect on that, and I'm sure Nate. I'm sure the two of them kind of communicated on it, but they're hitting quite a few bombs too. Yeah.
There's especially you talk about the Aloy brothers and Brent Iredale and and a guy that's come on. We've been calling him Lenny Dykstra Jr. Dabinall. He because I have a friend of mine. We call him Lenny Dykstra Jr. because that's who he reminds us of, because he's just one of those guys that is going to find a way to slap the ball somewhere and get on base.
Yeah,
that Davalon.
Yeah, Charles Davalon.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that kid seems like he's a really awesome player, and we kind of needed a dynamic player like him, where he kind of just does a little bit of everything. I mean, he hits for power, he hits for contact, he plays good defense. I think he steals. Does he steal bases? And I could be wrong. I think
he has a little bit. I mean, he to me, he just feels like one of those guys that's going to do whatever he's got to do, to get an RBI in, or to get on base and start a rally or whatever. He kind of has a Peyton Holt feel to him. Me,
I really enjoyed watching Peyton Holt play, and I'm not throwing shots around at any coaches or anything, because I appreciate my opportunities there, but I wanted to see Holt on the field more.
Holt was he was one of my favorites, man, because he was that guy that was like I'm talking about with Davalon, just going to do whatever he's got to do to help the team out, whether that's infield, outfield, whatever.
It's something about those Greenwood kids, man. I grew up there, and they're always undersized. They're not as fast as everybody. They're not as strong as everybody, but somehow they always manage to perform.
They're gamers, man. They're just gamers.
Super reliable. Yeah, gamers.
Yeah. So our boy Zach has got a question here he's put in the comments, and we're going to back up and talk a little bit about that 2022 season. What was DVH's message to the team during the regionals and super regionals, first Stillwater and then on to Chapel Hill? Anything stick out to you?
Shut them up.
Yeah, they probably got it on video. I don't really remember what he said, but he probably. I mean, he's a really good talker. He probably had something good to say. I apologize for not having.
That's all right, man. That's all right.
Sorry, Zach.
Let's kind of move off of Stillwater into the DVH, competitive spirit, because I think, as an Arkansas fan, we've been able to see him for 20 years, MC, as one of the most competitive people in Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this is. How much does he hate Ole Miss? Because it seems like every time we play Ole Miss, like they start doing their booms and sounding like AJ Styles or whatever his name is, and at the end of the series, we're always winning, and then the dugout finally starts chirping back because they never ever chirp. But it just seems like, DVH just lets them have it at Ole Miss every single time.
I think so. You probably know better than me. I know he hates some schools. Of course, I was only there for a year, but I want to say Ole Miss is one of those schools where it's just like they just do a lot of that cheerleading stuff. And
the little league stuff.
He's not about that. He's about baseball, and he's about like kind of being gritty, and that's all he likes, Mm-hmm. Let me grab my phone charger real quick. I don't want to run out of battery on you guys.
Why don't we, MC, let's kick it to break real quick, and we'll be right back. How about that?
Hey, Chris, we'll step aside real quick, and we'll come back, and we'll get your take on this Sweet 16 matchup coming up. How about that?
Yeah, you know my answer.
All right. Hey, we're going to step aside, and we'll be back right after this on Inside the Hawg Pen.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside The Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Mix Design Studios.
All right, back here inside the Hawg Pen with our very special guest tonight, former Diamond Hog, Chris Lanzilli. Chris, once again, man, we appreciate you coming on, and we've kind of thrown some fastballs at you a little bit. I'm gonna back it off a little bit, and we're gonna go BP speed with a few questions here. So
I appreciate it. I won't let you down.
All right, so playing in the SEC, tough environments, pretty much everywhere you go. From some of the road games that you played in the SEC, what's the best trash talk that you've heard from fans, from opposing fans?
I know Ole Miss had some good trash talk in Omaha, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
And say, can I just tell you the most hostile environment?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've talked to people that have played here before. They haven't said the same thing as me. I don't know if it was just because we were ranked high when we went here, but at Texas A&M, it was insane. It was like the loudest place. It's built up so high that their sound travels.
Yeah.
Their student section is above our dugout there, and it's like metal with. Oh, I'm seeing Cal walking, Calipari. But their student section stomps on the metal above our dugouts, and that was I felt like that place was louder than Omaha. It was the most insane environment. I couldn't remember a single thing that somebody said because it was so loud, but those people, holy crap, they weren't nice.
Yeah. There's a long history between Arkansas and Texas A&M anyway, back from the old Southwest Conference days. So it doesn't surprise me that they would be one of the most hostile ones. I was looking at the schedule. And, you guys went there and you went to Mississippi State. Mississippi State is a well-known baseball program too. Very proud fans.
They were at home when you played Mississippi
was it?
State.
Okay. I misread the schedule then. My old eyes are deceiving me, man. This is why I was never good at the plate. So, but I'm not surprised with Texas A&M being one of those. We talked a little bit about the end of the season and going into the Stillwater Regional. Outside of the stats and getting to play in Omaha, I mean, what are you most proud of from your entire baseball career, not just at Arkansas, but Arkansas and Wake both?
It's impossible not to say the minor or decent success I had, and then on the other hand, I have some of the best friends from my baseball, from Wake, from Arkansas. I was only at Arkansas for a year, and I was just at my second wedding from the team, Isaac Brackens. I was in Jay Sporfin's wedding. Just the relationships I made. I mean, I don't know how I would have made those. I wouldn't have been a frat boy, so I don't know how I would have made those without baseball. It's just amazing. And then I've become a big you could probably tell with me, but I've become a big fan of just like when I went to the Arkansas game the other day. It was my first Arkansas baseball game, and I pay attention to the game a little bit, but I'm more so pay attention to like the environment and just taking it all in. And I'm a big fan of that stuff, and I love college football because of that. And I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I can see myself doing something with that long down the road. I don't know.
That's awesome. I mean, you can see I got my beer hats back here, man. I'm ready anytime the bases get juiced. I got my hats right there. So it's that's to me, that's one of the unique things. You know, everybody talks about the hog call and how unique it is, but to me, the beer hats, I mean, that nobody's doing that. You know, I mean, that was just really cool. And you know, first time that you're out there and you see everybody pulling out these hats that look like beer mugs. I mean, what's going through your mind there?
I mean, it's pretty cool. When I show people, we're watching them on TV, they're like, why is everybody wearing a beer hat? Like, how did that tradition happen? But a funny thing is, so when I went to the game the other day, so it was Sunday, and I got tickets from this really sweet woman that I met actually at an Arkansas football game. She gave us tickets, me and my girlfriend, and we were sitting right behind home plate. She had amazing tickets.
That's awesome.
And so I told my mom to turn on the TV turn on the ESPN thing. And I had two tall boy Miller Lights that I was holding out. And that was the first picture of me at an Arkansas baseball game. So I wish I could send that into you guys so we could show it.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's very cool. So
I'm gonna try to find it real quick.
We'll
go back and find that and screen cap it for sure. You know, we were talking a little bit about the beer hats. Just a real funny story. During my 10-year-old son that I have, he's really started getting into games and watching games with me and stuff, and kind of starting to ask a few questions here and there, which I love. You know, the fact that he's that interested about sports in general. But you know, I can think back to that Omaha, when you guys were in Omaha in 2022. You know, obviously, you know, an 8-year-old in a beer hat is kind of you know, might not do that. So he was taking his cup, and he would stand in front of the TV with his cup on top of his head. I've actually got a picture of it on my phone, which is just, you know, to me, it's just kind of cool because I'm sitting here and this is something where, you know, baseball has always been about, you know, dad and son being able to play catch and stuff. And for me, it's kind of cool that we can sit here and watch Arkansas baseball. And then he's actually starting to take an interest in it as well. So that was cool.
That's fascinating to me. You know, obviously playing with a lot of teammates that grew up that way, like we're Arkansas fans, we're going to the games growing up and all. It's fascinating to me because I didn't do that. I mean, I love the Red Sox and I love the Bruins. You guys don't really have much hockey, but
we don't have much hockey, but I know the Bruins. So, but
just a college atmosphere like that where you strive to play there and that's kind of where you want to go. That's where you want to go to school. Like, if I were to do that, that would be like UMass or BC. And like BC is a great school and all, and they're in the ACC. But no, like I never really wanted to go there. You know, it's right. So I wish I had that experience growing up in Arkansas. That'd be pretty cool.
I can kind of give you a hint on how it just affects you from a kid to now I'm an adult. My wife is pregnant, and you know, we've learned that we're gonna have a girl, and it's kind of just the brainwashing starts before they're even born because I've already bought her a baby cheerleading outfit that has a Razorback on it. So I've started out at, you know, your second trimester, and you know, you're already starting to induct them into the Razorback fandom. It starts before they're even born. That's awesome. It's insane. But you know, Carolyn made another good point that it's been really awesome watching Razorback fans over the past like decade, because after, I think, you know, I don't really know if we have like a whole lot of different cultures like as much as we do now, but like we've done a lot of good accepting of where people are and like just accepting them as Razorbacks. They are Arkansas. You chose to come to Arkansas. Here's our thanks to you, you know? Like I don't know if you know about Kendall Diggs's nickname. Did you ever hear about that?
Is this something about him being sexy?
Well, I mean, I guess you could take it that way if you want.
I saw something like that on Twitter.
Well, his nickname was Daddy Diggs.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. I took it that way.
But it's just, that outfield position is really special, especially in left field where you're right next to all of our fans.
Yeah.
And this is just me like yelling at the clouds because I used to grow up with Arkansas's bullpen right there in the left field. And it always felt more special with the bullpen in the left field, but you're more connected to the fans over there in left field. Right now we have Iredale. He's an Aussie. Davalon, also an Aussie. And
the Aloys.
The Aloys,
Canada.
Davalon's Canadian. You're right.
Yeah, he's Canadian. So we got an Aussie, we got a Canadian, we got two Hawaiians. I mean,
Callies.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of all over the place.
But now in the Hawg Pen, every time Iredale comes up to bat, there's a person that will hold up a flag, and the flag will have a kangaroo wrapped around it now.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just like, and the Aloys, whenever they get up to bat, people start doing the hula dance, and
they got the lays, they wear around the neck, and
and they whenever they hit the home run, there's 3 Hawaiians. That's right, we were wrong. There are 3.
My bad. I forgot Nolan Souza. Thank you, Carolyn
Souza. Yeah. So every time they round the bases after they hit a home run, they throw up the hang loose at us, and it's one of those things that I feel that you have felt it, because you were saying that you want to give back to the university, give back to the state, because and I'm honestly kind of irritated with you just a little bit, because you came to the game on Sunday. I went to the game on Saturday. I flew in to the game on Saturday.
You flew in?
Well, that's a whole different story. We don't have to go there. Let's just say Las Vegas happened, and I flew into Fayetteville. So, moving on.
I would have been there all weekend. I had to go to. I enjoyed. I didn't have to. I went to my buddy's. I went to Isaac Bracken's wedding on Saturday, so I couldn't go Saturday. I would have loved to. I'm going to come back in May, though. Yeah, I'm going to come back in May. So I met a lot of good people there. A lot of people that were there in the stands for my games, and I hope that the people that I see there next time too aren't afraid to come up, because I love to meet people.
I speak for all Razorback fans. If you tell us that you are Chris Lanzilli, we'll all sit there and there'll be a big old crowd around you at all times.
No, I appreciate it. No, I want to be one of you guys. I want to be one with you guys.
Does it seem different? I mean, you kind of answered this already, but I'm going to ask it again, because why not? Does it seem different just to talk to your fellow students or whatever, and they're like, hey, who's pitching this weekend? Or just even talking about going to the baseball game. Is it a must-see event for a lot of the students, or is it kind of just
wait, what do you mean?
So, with football, everybody shows up for a football game.
Yeah.
But is it kind of like a must-see event for baseball in Arkansas too?
Yeah, I mean, better than me. For the fans?
No,
he's talking about for the students.
Yeah.
When you're going to class, like when you were going to class, did people stop you and say, hey man, who's gonna pitch this weekend, or anything like that?
Oh, okay. Well, I have a kind of a cool story on that, short story. When I first showed up, Wiggins, the older brother, we're out, or actually
hey, if you don't need to tell it.
I was out at the bar, and he was just walking around somewhere, and somebody stopped him. This was it was 9 p.m. probably, and somebody stopped him. It was a student, and they were like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And kids were taking pictures with him. This was my first time out at Arkansas, and I was like, "Wow, this is how it's going to be." The students want a picture with the baseball players.
Cool.
Yeah, they're rock stars out there, especially if you got a big name like Wiggins.
Yeah.
And that's happened. I've seen that happen at battles, and Robert Moore never went to any bars or anything.
Did you know that Robert Moore's dad is an executive for the Royals? Did you know that?
Yeah, that's the running joke, man. Every TV broadcast that got brought up about Robert Moore's dad.
Game.
So That's kind of our inside joke now, is that we talk about that.
Oh, okay. Wait, isn't he? He's with a different team now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he changed organizations now, but yeah, we don't get to hear about it every single game now that's broadcast.
They need to bring it back up. Honestly, is what they need to do. But
all right, we'll get the rumors. We'll get it going again.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Hey, I want to throw this at you because you mentioned about seeing Cal walk in on TV a while ago. What's your take on tonight, man? Can we take Texas Tech down?
Yeah. What was the line? Minus 5.5.
I think it's 5.5. I think that was the last one I saw.
In favor of Texas Tech, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we're underdogs again, which is fine. I'm totally cool with that. Because you know this as an athlete, and you go in and you're the underdog. I mean, you walk in there with a chip on your shoulder with something else to prove.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to throw my money on Arkansas. I mean, I think they're the hot team right now, and obviously I'm biased, but I want to see them win the national championship. I think my brother has I think my brother showed me he'll get some like 20 grand or something if they win the natty. So
oh wow,
that's another reason to root for.
Is there like a win one for the Gipper feeling inside the locker room of the baseball team?
What's that reference? What does that mean?
Sorry, because DVH, I mean, he's done pretty much everything that you can do as a baseball coach except for win a championship. Is that something that's like even talked about between the players, or is it just something that's fan driven only?
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't think it's talked about between the players. It's kind of fan driven. I mean, we're aware of what like happened. What was it, 2018? But
yeah,
it's not much of a thing for the players. It's more so for other fan bases to cheer our fan base, you know?
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. So no, not to react. Cool. Got one question for you, and I'm going to let MC wrap up. And I kind of hit you with this the other day, so I'm going to let you probably already know where I'm going. So I've asked my friend Chuck Tatum, God, it's good to call him a friend, but I've asked my friend Chuck Tatum this when we first interviewed him. What was your first, like, when you first walked in or heard the hog call? What was your thought process? Were you like just kind of like, what is going on here, or just what was your memory of the first hog call?
Yeah, I mean, I still am like, what is going on here? But when I first heard, I think I said to you, I heard it for the first time. When they hosted NC State for the regional, that was before I got there, but I had never heard it before then, and it just seemed like I didn't really care what was going on because it seemed like there were so many people there and they were all just crammed in, and I was like, wow, I don't know what the heck they're doing, but they're having a good time while doing it, and I obviously got to school and found out what it was right away when I was in JJ's for a football game, and I was like, damn, this is pretty cool. This is like just a cool moment.
Does it feel really cultish on the outside?
Yeah, I mean,
back on it,
people definitely think so. Like my sister's not into sports, and she has no idea what it is, but when she hears it, she's like, wow, damn, that's a cult.
we call Texas A&M the cult. Okay.
Yeah. I hear that.
But MC, I'm gonna let you hit him with the final question, or we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We've really enjoyed this. This has been a blast for us. I hope you've enjoyed it half as much as we did, because
I'll come on anytime.
Yeah, this was really cool, and we'll definitely have you back as we get deeper into baseball season. We're going to have you back on, and kind of where you can kind of give us a perspective that normally we're not able to provide. You know, we give fan opinion, and sometimes we make some really good points, but we're not going to be able to give the insight that you would be able to give from the player's perspective. So we'll definitely get you back on.
I'll try to get some inside word till then. I'll talk.
Hey, that'll be great. That'll be great, man. So,
but yeah, well, maybe we'll have like a little Carolyn gets to ask her own questions. She's
there you go. I like it. Carolyn's been very vocal tonight, so that's awesome. So, Hey, thanks, Chris. We're going to step aside for a quick break, and we'll let you get out of here and get ready for tip off of the basketball game tonight. We're gonna go on and keep on with our pregame show for basketball, but we're gonna step aside for this break, and then when we get back, we'll jump into the School of Hog Hoops and talk about tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Go home.
Mix Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Mix Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Mix Design.
Hey, Hawg Fanatics. We at Inside The Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hawg Fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code Inside Hawg Pen. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code Inside Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Mix Design Studios.
You're muted, MC. He's so excited.
I'm so damn excited. I forgot to unmute my mic. I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
Yeah!
Wow. That's a hard act to follow, man. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do here with School of Hog Hoops. And I mean, I'm jacked through the roof, but that interview there with Chris was just amazing. Once again, appreciate him coming on, and we're definitely going to get him back in here during baseball season. Or you're muted, Z.
If we don't, you're fine.
There we go. Yeah. No, y'all did good, and I look forward to having him on in the morning at 10 o'clock. And, man, all right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit because, like you said, it's the time for MC School of Hog Hoops. Got a big matchup tonight, 9 o'clock Central Time. It's Arkansas. It's Texas spot in the Elite Eight.
I have a question.
Yes.
What round are we in? Could it be the round that somebody predicted was going to happen in November? Is that where we are? Is that where we are?
Okay. I had to mute my mic because I said a word I can't say on air. I was hoping you weren't going to remember that. And for the record, I would just like to set the record straight. Until there is video evidence that I have said Cal is washed, I never said it.
Yeah. Hey,
We're looking. Don't worry.
There, you may not have said Cal was washed, but you were very reluctant to get on the train.
I was reluctant.
You had one foot on the platform still, and the other one not quite landing on the train just yet.
I was that dude that was getting drugged by the train. How about that?
You were the one. You were one of the people that put them in the coffin.
No, not necessarily.
Oh, I did. I put them in the coffin.
Well, yeah, no, I did. I actually did. No, I did.
I did.
You know. It was like that Undertaker match where they had like 5 people shove the Undertaker in that.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, MC, I want to talk about the Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah.
First off, I want to ask it, but I don't want to jinx it. But it has to be asked. Are we this year's Cinderella team?
Well, we are the lowest or the highest number seed, whichever way you look at that. I say it is the lower seed because we're the 10. We're the only double digit seed remaining. What's wild to me is that there are 4 first-year coaches in the Sweet 16 because, you got Cal in his first year at Arkansas, Dusty May in his first year at Michigan. Of course, the big Gomer Pyle looking goofball at Kentucky, Mark Pope in his first year there. And then the guy who took over for Mark Pope, whose name is escaping me at the moment, at BYU. He is in the Sweet 16.
Who is currently getting blown out. I've got a couple of score updates for you in the Sweet 16 early matchups. Number 2, Alabama is taking on number 6, BYU, 83-67. Bama there, 10:06 to go in the second half. And then 5 minutes into the second half, you've got Florida up on Maryland, 50-42. That is a 1-4 matchup.
So so I got to do this while you're talking about Maryland. We were talking about this a little bit pre-show. Is everyone aware of the situation that's going on with Maryland and their head coach right now? I know we are, but if you guys are not aware of this, the people that are watching the show, Maryland's coach has already accepted a new job. And the way I understand the way the story goes, this is a story that was on Twitter. So if it's wrong, blame Twitter. Don't blame me. But he skipped out allegedly. He allegedly skipped out on a team dinner last night to finalize his deal to become the next coach at Villanova. And then today he informed his team that is playing in the Sweet 16 right now. So about 2, 3, 4 hours before game time, he's informing them that when their season is done, he's headed to Villanova. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this is not college basketball. This is not what we're supposed to be. This is not how things are supposed to be going. And we hear all the time about players jumping around and jumping in the portal and going here, going there, leaving after 1 year. But, I'm kind of under the impression now between this and the whole Will Wade thing where he, it came out before McNeese even played their first round game that he was going to leave and go to NC State.
But NC at the same time, you've got to think, this whole switching back and forth to schools has been going on for a while. But now with the transfer portal the way it is, these coaches now, I mean, what was that? What's the old saying from WrestleMania 3? The immovable force
and the unstoppable object meets the immovable force. I think. Yeah, I may have that backwards, but you get the point.
The point is still the same. The coaches now are going to do. I mean, think about it this way. All right, where's our former coach? Watching the tournament from the couch.
Yeah.
Okay. Point right there. Everybody knew he gave up last season. Okay.
Yeah.
But why? Tell me why it's okay for a coach while his team is still in the tournament fighting for a national title to another school.
A good point here with Carolyn. This is another problem that's going on right now because the transfer portal opened up Monday on the cusp. And you had Michigan lost one of their main players. Scottie Pippen's son left Michigan to enter the portal before they're getting ready to play their Sweet 16 game. I agree with Carolyn. Should be absolutely no movement. The first day the portal should be open is the day after the national championship game. That's my opinion.
We had this same discussion in football.
Yes.
Okay. There should be no portal movements. And here's the other thing. These players that are, getting, 4 or 5 games into the season or halfway through the season and going, I'm not getting what I want here. I'm going to transfer.
Yeah.
I agree with Chris. There's got to be some way to regulate. There's got to be some way to control this because you're going to have players that are just going to be jumping from one school to another. All right. But this coach, I'm sorry, but if I was Maryland and if I was on that court right now, I'd let Florida run away with it.
Well, and kudos to these guys because I'm watching that game. They're hanging around with Florida. They're down 9 right now. With about 13 and a half minutes left in the game. Now, Florida, as good as Florida's playing right now, Florida's probably going to pull away and end up winning this by, I would say, my guess is they'll win anywhere from 10 to 15 points because to me, nobody's playing better than Florida right now.
Well, and they take on the winner of our game later tonight, Arkansas Texas Tech.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to get on a tangent, but I wanted to bring that up because I was really, when I started reading all this morning about what happened at their team dinner and everything last night, it really disturbed me. But, I guess this is just where we are right now. So
it's the way the game is now, but it's a legitimate point. It's a legitimate point that needs to be brought up. And it's also a legitimate point that has to be talked about.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. And where do we go from here? I mean, we're going to have coaches, changing jobs mid-season. Is that what's coming next? I mean, because at this point, the contracts that they're under are obviously not worth the paper they're written on. and can be broken with no kind of repercussions whatsoever. So I don't like where we're headed. I feel like this is headed towards, maybe not the full-blown destruction, but this is definitely going to be a hard haymaker right to the nose of college basketball and college sports in general, because it's not exclusive to basketball. Like you said, we talked about the same thing in football. So that's going to happen. It's going to happen there as well, but something has got to change, and there's got to be some kind of regulation put around this. But anyway, I digress. Let's get to the important stuff. We got a ball game tonight.
Got a ball game tonight. It's going to be a late night for all of us. It's
going to be a very late night.
So here's the problem as far as I'm concerned. I can't do a lineup and get ready for tomorrow's show until this game's over with.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true. So it's I like the matchup tonight. I really do. I think Texas Tech they're going to play hard. Here's a cool story, bro moment. Their head coach, Grant McCaslin, a few years back, he spent one season here in Jonesboro at Arkansas State. Prior to Mike Bellato. When he left, Mike Bellato was the one that got the job. Mike was an assistant at Louisville, I believe, at the time. Got the job. Bellato stayed here until Hodgson took over last year. And so there's a little weird little tie there to the state of Arkansas. But McCaslin's team will play hard. They will play. They don't play as fast as Arkansas does. They play at a what I would call a moderate pace. They'll run if it's there, but they're not going to force the issue.
Now, MC, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've seen a lot of tape on Texas Tech. They don't drive all the way. They're perimeter shooters. So if we shut down the 3-point game, the chances for us to win this game are a lot better if we shut them down on the perimeter.
One similarity to this game from the St. John game is controlling the 3-point shot. St. John's had some outside shooters. I feel like Texas Tech is a better shooting team from deep, and that's where they make their money. Now, JT Toppin can go inside and play a little bit as well. But if Arkansas's defense can stifle their 3-point shooting the way they did St. John's, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there was a historical stat made in the St. John's game. Arkansas, a 2 seed, had never been held to that low of a field goal percentage for the entire game in the history of the tournament. And I believe St. John's shot 28% from the field as a whole. So that was a record.
And I mean, that game you saw, we came to play, and I've got to agree with Matt Hart here. Foul trouble is what scares me.
Yeah.
We've got to stay out of foul trouble early. And I like the aggressiveness of Arkansas, don't get me wrong, but you've only got a limited amount of guys to go to on the bench. You cannot get into foul trouble early on in the game.
Yeah. And that's key, because here's a worst case scenario for Arkansas. If you have a repeat of Brazil, Jonas Adu, and Big Z all getting 2 fouls before halftime, that's not good. No. Arkansas can't have that this game. They've got to be able to keep these guys on the floor, because the way Jonas Adu and TB are playing right now, they are difference makers. They are the X factor. I said in our last show, we were I think, had we played? No, we did Wednesday night last week, so we were getting ready to.
We were prior to.
Yeah, I said if you can get a combined 30 points from Adu and Brazil, that we would be in good shape. If you look back, I don't know if they got 30 between them. I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but they were pretty close.
Hang on,
both.
Just a second.
Okay, both of them.
Let me talk to you.
I don't know if you'd actually consider this breaking news, but 7 minutes to go in the half, Alabama's fixing to break 100 points on BYU.
Oh my God. 7 minutes left?
7 minutes to go, and the score right now, as it stands, is 97-76 Alabama.
Wow. That's putting belt to the backside.
I didn't mean to cut you off, MC.
No, that's okay.
Because they're at BYU's at the foul line right now. But
hey, man, I feel like if people are tuning into us, we owe it to them to give them the
absolutely.
scores.
Absolutely.
So,
I love this time of year, dude. I really do.
I was lost Monday and Tuesday because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all I did was watch hoops. And we get around to Monday night and there's nothing there. And I'm like, what do I do?
Well, I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, there's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same.
I would just like to go on record, though, and say that the football guy is in first place in our ITHP bracket challenge. Thank you very much. So put your finger up for me, dang it.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that the football guy is leading the pickle right now.
T-Man can talk all he wants, but who's in first place, baby?
Yeah.
Who's in first place? Me.
Hey, I gotta throw this comment up because I want to address this from Matt Hart.
A minute ago,
Okay. I didn't see it. That's my bad. Matt Hart over at Hawg HQ. Toppin doesn't scare me. What about y'all? So here's the thing with Toppin. Very streaky guy. He's one of those that if he's on, he'll probably have a career night. But if he's off, I like our chances of him staying cold and not being able to find his groove. I think I want to see. I don't know who you put on him defensively. I don't know. But we've not talked about the big pink elephant in the room, and that's whether or not Adu Thiero is going to play.
I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it's mine. I don't know. I don't look.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna pull a Sam Pittman card and say I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it could be. It could be one of those where Cal was playing mind games, or they could roll him out there for a little bit.
5:48 to go in the game. Alabama just broke 100 points.
I mean, that's like 90s ball. That's like 90s scoring level there. So
hey, I want to point out something real quick. Justin Ashmore says, "Love the Sunday Diamond Hog drip, y'all." Hey, that's how we do it. If you missed it, the first on our extended edition, the first hour was Chris. I'm going to butcher his name.
Lanzilli.
I keep wanting to say it weird.
Outfielder. He outfielder on the 2022 Omaha team.
Yeah. Big shout out to Justin and Nikki. Actually, happy birthday, belated happy birthday to Nikki. Her birthday was yesterday. She sent us a picture when her jersey came in, and she's been repping Inside the Hawg Pen on her custom made jersey. So we appreciate Justin and Nikki for repping us. MC, when you look at this matchup and the more or less the road to the Final Four, road to the title game next, was it next weekend?
Final Four be next weekend.
What does the road look like for Arkansas from your perspective? I mean, for me, you've got to get through Florida, and Florida's struggling with Maryland to pull away from Maryland right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a superstitious thing in basketball, especially in tournament play. You try not to talk too much about the next step till you complete the one in front of you. But that said, looking ahead, if Arkansas wins tonight, most likely they're going to play Florida. I don't like how we match up with Florida. I know back when we played them, I believe it was in January at Bud Walton Arena, we had moments in the game where it felt like we could climb our way back into the game. And granted, both teams are completely different now, so it's difficult to even use that as a comparison. But the way Florida's playing right now, I mean, they're 12 points up right now with 10 minutes left. And this is their largest lead of the game. Florida, it feels like to me, first off, I don't see a weakness with them. They can shoot outside. They can go inside. They have great ball handlers. They play really good defense. And they are a very smart team. They know when to push the issue and when to kind of pull back and let the offense set up. And there's not a lot of teams that can do that on a consistent basis. Now this is tournament time. Arkansas is a completely different team now. Crazy things have happened to this point in this tournament, and they could continue to happen. If Arkansas wins tonight, their confidence to me goes through the roof. I mean, the confidence is already there because you knocked out 2 Hall of Fame coaches already on your way to the Sweet 16. And this whole thing of, they put us in the coffin, but they forgot the nails. And then I saw a clip of Carter Knox saying that their attitude was kill, celebrate, kill again. And I absolutely love that. Like, I'm slapping my arm right here. Just inject that into my veins because that is the edge that I have been begging any Arkansas team to have for a long time. It's almost like, we talk about Billy Richmond and that 901 attitude. And, if Bum's out there listening, he's about to lose his mind right now, because I'm throwing a lot of love to the 901 here. But the guys that have played for Arkansas that come out of Memphis, they have a different gear to them, and they have a different mindset. And it's almost like that mindset has bled over from Billy Richmond into the rest of the team.
Yeah, I've got the stats pulled up here. Billy Richmond had 16 points off the bench. You had John L. Davis with 13 and Carter Knox with 15 in that St. John game.
Well, and to expand a little more on the attitude and the edge that I'm just absolutely loving right now. There was an article came out and they re-ranked the 16 teams remaining, and Arkansas was 16th. And one of the reporters asked Boogie Fland about that, and he's like, "Yeah, we saw that." And then this is another one of those just beautiful quotes where he said, "That's one man's opinion. We had a purpose as this team long before anybody had an opinion." And I'm just sitting over here, I'm about to go Hulk Hogan and just rip my shirt off, because that's an edge and an attitude of a dangerous team. And you let a team with that attitude get confidence, and you don't want to be the next team in front of them.
Well, and I'm looking at the stats from that game. 9%. St. John shot 9%. 9.
Yeah. Well, we didn't shoot very good either. We're going to have to shoot better tonight.
11%.
Yeah, we're going to have to shoot a lot better tonight. But that was just an ugly game.
Fans, MC, my internet's jacked up. I keep cutting you off. I'm sorry. Got to recognize a couple of fans. Casey Sutton is in the house. Like I said, she's ITHP royalty. We have to recognize her because, and I will say this every time I'm on air, she has not kicked Cancer's ass, not once, not twice, but a total of 3 times. So I dare anybody to stand toe-to-toe with her. I really wish I had a badass mode button, because I'd have hit it right now.
That might be something we need to add. We need to add a badass button.
We do.
Well, I'll see if I can figure something out on that.
Off season's coming up. Now, I will say this. Ms. Nikki said, thank you very much. She would like to hear the yeah sound. So here's for Nikki for her birthday.
Yeah.
So, but no, when you look at the other teams in the Sweet 16, you've got Alabama, who's just on a complete tear right now.
Yeah.
And you've got Florida. Now, the matchup of the night, obviously, from our point of view, is going to be Texas and
Texas Tech and us.
Yeah, us and Texas Tech. But the matchup of the night, I think everybody's looking at, is the All-SEC matchup between Tennessee and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I'm praying to the basketball gods above that Tennessee wipes the floor with those wild words I can't say on air.
I am in no way, shape, form, whatever, anywhere close to a fan of that ugly orange color. But I'll say this, and if my boys Daryl Hobby and Jeremy Martin are watching, they're never going to let me forget this. But I'll be singing Rocky Top tonight, just because I can't deal with Kentucky. And did you notice, Zach? And I know you noticed this because we talked about it. Have you noticed that once Cal made the Sweet 16, suddenly all these Kentucky fans are wanting to talk about a truce?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
And a ceasefire and just, hey, let's just, we're all better off. Everybody needed it. No.
Here's the thing. All right. Trying to put this in words where I'm not going to get kicked off the air here.
You think about your words, because I got mine right now.
Here's the thing. Right? Here's the thing. We weren't the ones chirping.
Exactly.
We weren't the ones chirping. So why are you asking us for a ceasefire?
Yeah. Y'all started this mess.
I almost said a political comment.
Y'all started this mess a year ago. Okay, when on a year ago at the national championship game, because that's the day that Cal, the rumors really started, having some smoke to them. And then from that point forward, Kentucky fans were all over. I mean, I had more Kentucky fans in my mentions on Twitter than I had Arkansas fans, and it didn't matter what it was about.
I'm an admin in several of these Arkansas groups on Facebook. By the way, appreciate all the guys letting me be an admin. But there was when he made the Sweet 16, when that team made the Sweet 16,
Mm-hmm.
there was a mass exodus of Kentucky fans because they all joined because they wanted in and they wanted to chirp at our fan base.
Oh, so you're saying it looked like Rupp with about 4 minutes left in the game when we went up there?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like. I don't understand. Okay. You guys are in the Sweet 16 too. Shut up.
Focus on your own,
I have never, and I said this, I've said this over and over and over and over again. I've never seen a fan base so freaking obsessed with an ex-coach.
Yeah.
Like that psychotic red flagged, ex-girlfriend that just won't leave you alone after breakup.
Yeah.
And it
like when she was the one that kept threatening, I'm going to break up. And then you finally get enough and say, all right, I'm out of here. I'm gone. And then, well, you can't break up with me. I was going to break up with you. That's what they're like. They did not get their justification of getting to dump him and then have him just kind of, fade off into oblivion. No, he left them. And then he came to a conference rival. And yes, in basketball, it's still a conference rival prior to Cal coming here. Now it's really going to be one. But, not only did he come here, but this team has faced so much adversity. They pulled it together right here at the end of the season. And now, nobody had us here. It's just like Cal said, everybody left us for dead. We were the roadkill setting off on the shoulder. And nobody,
I'm sorry,
nobody had us even making the NIT, much less the NCAA tournament. And so now that Cal is reverted back to being Cal and got this team rolling, suddenly they don't want to fight anymore. And it doesn't work that way.
I'm okay. I'm not going to put this comment on air. I'm just going to say this. Carolyn, you ain't right.
Oh, I got to go look for it now.
You ain't right. You ain't
no,
right.
Don't put that on. Don't put that on.
I'm not going to put that. I'm almost say, wait, damn. I need a Ron Simmons button. Damn. Yeah. Trevor Kaiser wants to know about ticket prices. He's trying to go to the Rock game, but he's not paying $250 a pop. Come on.
Yeah, dude. I'm not paying $250 to watch who's it, Grambling?
Yeah, for the second time this year. Here's the thing, and by the way, shout out to our boy Chris Shaw, who just had surgery, by the way. He's in the comments as well. How bad is Kentucky just going to lose their freaking mind if we're in the Elite Eight, much less the Final Four?
Well,
and they get bounced. Now the dream matchup. Yeah. I don't know. Did the brackets match up to where it'll be Arkansas, Kentucky in the final?
I think so because again, my algorithms on all my social media are messed up because of Kentucky fans. But for some reason on my TikTok the other day, there was a clip from a Kentucky show that came up. It wasn't the Kentucky Sports Radio guys. It was another one. And it come up and it was talking about that the brackets match up to where if both of these teams keep winning, they could meet in the Natty. And I'm here to tell you right now, I will not be able to handle that. I think both fan bases would break if that was the case.
MC, we have more breaking news.
Let me talk to you.
A minute 53 to go. Alabama 106-86 over BYU, and they set a record for most three-pointers.
Wow.
In a tournament game, I do believe. Yeah, tournament record for threes in a game. Let me see if I can get those stats pulled up. Hang on just a second, MC.
While you're doing that, I'll give an update. At the 10-minute mark, I believe Florida was up 8, maybe 10. This game has ballooned up. It's almost a 20-point lead now for Florida. I believe they're up 18. They're showing replays right now, so I can't see the score. But I believe they're up 18 at the moment, and that just kind of speaks to what I was talking about. Florida is able, and they are deep, too. I didn't talk about that. And they had one of their main players go down earlier, Conley, I believe. I saw him hobble off the floor. Looks like he's back out there now.
He's back out there now.
but he definitely hobbled off the floor with some kind of ankle issue or something. But, I look, if I'm Todd Golden, I think right now at this point, it's 74-57 right now with 7 minutes left. Unless he just really puts up a fight to be out there, I'm probably going to pull him off the floor, let him rest that ankle, and get ready for Saturday at this point.
A minute to go there in the Alabama BYU game, 110-86, and they shot 50% from the 3-point land.
Okay, I'm gonna make a prediction on Alabama because this has been kind of how they've gone this year.
25 of 51 3-pointers.
When 51?
Yeah.
My God, they put up 51 3-pointers in a 40-minute game.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
34 of 65 for field goal percentage of 53%. And then they were 18 of 21 for 85% from the free throw line. 16 to 20 for BYU. They're at 80%. That's what you want to see, though.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
I mean, look, if somebody's going to put up 51 threes in a game and they're going to make half of them, I don't care what you do. You're not going to beat them. That's just how it goes. But I'm going to say this. I have a hot take on Alabama. Saturday, they shot, what'd you say? They shot 51 threes and they shot right at 50%.
Yeah, right now they're averaging right about 50%.
Okay. My hot take for Saturday, they will not shoot over 31% from the 3-point line on Saturday.
Let me see. Carolyn, and she's been on one tonight. Carolyn is the what we like to call our fan of the night because she's been bringing it. Says that they will suck the place up in their next game, and they play the winner of who they play the winner of Michigan. What is it? Michigan.
Yeah, the Michigan and
your second team, Ole Miss.
Oh yeah. They play the winner of that one. So you could have another all SEC matchup in the Elite Eight there.
Yeah.
Besides, if Arkansas and Florida both win, you'll have that one, and then you could also have Alabama and who did we say? Ole Miss. Yeah.
So our friend Matt Hart over at Hawg HQ wants to know, who did you have playing for the title in your bracket? I had well, crap. Let me see. I
have Houston winning it over Florida.
Yeah, and I've got Florida winning it over Houston. I do, but yeah.
I was looking in our group, and if Florida goes down, that's going to take out like 80% of the field.
Bye-bye. I'm just going to tell you now. If Florida loses it between now and the title game, bye-bye.
Yeah, that's going to – and I've already lost one Final Four team.
I've lost Wisconsin. When Wisconsin went down, I've still got 3 of my 4, so I'm at 99% for the bracket.
Yeah.
And I it's one of those that a lot of this, by the way, the game with BYU and Alabama just went final. 113-88 is your final score. Alabama walks away with it.
I hope y'all took the over in that game.
Yeah, because whoever took the over
they just made a little money.
Booty amount of money. I think I had Auburn, but I don't remember over who. Look, Auburn's vulnerable. Auburn's
not winning it. I don't think they'll win it because if I remember correctly, if they get to the Final Four, they're probably going to match up with Florida. And again, here we are. We're sitting here. We're talking about Florida. We're talking about Auburn. We've talked a little bit about Duke. Nobody's talking about Houston, and that's my pick. My pick is Houston to win it all.
We had Duke being the first number 1 seed to go down.
Yeah, I missed that one. Well, technically, no, I haven't missed it yet, but I might be eating that Nutella covered biscuit before it's all said and done. So,
I'm going to revel in that because for as many times as y'all called me out for being wrong, thank God, and in basketball season too. Oh,
yeah. But if there's going to be one team that breaks my bracket, it might as well be Arkansas. So
your next matchups are. See if I can get it here. I love this time of year, MC. I really do.
I do too, but the 9:00 game, man. Woo.
Well, we're on the West Coast. See, this is my thing. And I said this a couple of weeks ago. Who the hell makes the brackets for these games?
Yeah.
We're playing in the West region, but we're playing on the East Coast.
Yeah. And then now we're finally out to the West. So has anybody done more travel than Arkansas going from Providence, Rhode Island to San Francisco?
Yeah.
Matt Hart's Duke and Arizona is the next matchup.
Duke and Arizona's next, and then we tip at 9:09. Now here's the thing: our game is not on CBS; it's on TBS/True TV. Which one? There's 2 different channels.
That's all right. Well, they're probably going to, at this point, they'll probably simulcast, but I think that means we get Kevin Harlan on the call. So
Wait. First negative comment coming from Carolyn. That's all. I'm in Virginia, so it doesn't even start till 10 for me.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you kind of win there. So, yeah. I hope you got coffee or Mountain Dew or something.
She's like my sister, so I can say this. Boo-hoo! I had to get that. That was my phone. See, I'm already catching it. But
all right, so final prediction tonight. What do you Hogs or Texas Tech? Who are you taking?
Give me the Hogs. Give me the Hogs in the Elite Eight.
I'm going Hart overhead. Woo pig, baby.
Yeah.
Let's roll with this thing. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah, I'm shotgunning a Mountain Dew as we speak just to stay up because it's gonna be a long night for me. MC, do you think we should give the fans what they want after the game? If we win,
should we? Just completely put me on the spot. I
don't know.
To be continued. Let's do that.
Let's reconvene at halftime and decide.
Yeah, we'll reconvene at halftime.
I'm gonna give you on the point score. All right. And I'm going to pull one out of 1994, 76-72. Arkansas goes to the Elite Eight to take on the Florida Gators.
I like it. Okay, so we've done about as much preview as I know to do for the game. We're 35 minutes basically away from tip-off.
I do want to talk a little bit about baseball.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Yes, we lost to Missouri State, but here's the thing, y'all. It was a midweek game. Chill out.
And I completely meant to, and this will be something you can ask Chris tomorrow when you have him on with you on 101.1 The Answer. Ask him, the thought on midweek games, because as everybody that knows baseball knows, baseball's different. The midweek games are, to me, in my opinion, they're not much above a glorified scrimmage.
Chris, take care, brother. Let me know how you're doing on your surgery. We'll talk later.
So that's kind of my take on the midweek games. I mean, the way we lost was a little concerning because it's like we just shut our brains off.
We struggled. First off, we struggled out of the gate.
Yeah.
Okay. We did. We struggled out of the gate. We got it under control because we scored 13 runs?
Yeah, 13 is where we ended up.
But here's the thing. Look at how many freshmen that have not had playing time were in that game. Okay.
Yeah. You had a lot of guys that normally don't play on the weekends, and that's what you do with midweek games. You get these guys experience that haven't been in there yet. I personally, I don't like to lose, but at the same time, I didn't lose any sleep over the fact that we lost a midweek game. Did it bother me that it was Missouri State? A little bit, because there's a bit of a rivalry. If you go back,
there's a budding rivalry there, yeah. But at the same time, MC, this has been the MO of DVH for a while now.
Yep.
Okay. Because you don't see now, you did have the Alloy brothers hitting, you did have some of the starters in there. Yes. But DVH uses these games to basically assess the rest of the team.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Okay. It's not that he doesn't have any faith in winning the game, but he uses these as kind of a measuring stick, if you will, because you'll see some people that you don't really see, or you see true freshmen or redshirt freshmen or other transfers, because the team is so deep, you're not going to be able to see everybody on the weekend.
Right.
And Justin's right. The pitching and the errors, but again, freshmen, guys that haven't played, you don't have the staples in those spots.
I'll say the biggest disappointment for me in that game was, and I know we're not big on trashing guys by name, but he had a bad night. I'm going to call him out for it. Will McIntyre, as seasoned as he is, and one of the older guys,
he didn't look like he felt.
He had a bad night. Yeah. It's just one of those nights where it wasn't going his way. It's nothing against him. He'll probably come out his next time out, and it'll be 3 up, 3 down, as Phil likes to say, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Yep. It'll be a great outing for him. But on this particular night, it just wasn't happening, for whatever reason. And you've got
Vandy coming up this weekend in Nashville.
That's a big one.
That's a big one series. Because it's hard. And I swear to God, if I'm watching that game and I hear the damn Vandy Whistler, I think I might actually rip my ears off.
You know he's going to be there. I looked all over for that dude when I went to Hoover last year. It's like he was some kind of mirage or camouflage or something because I could hear him. I just never could find him. And it might be better that I didn't find him. But,
there's nothing. And again, I'm a fan first. So if y'all are offended by what I'm about to say, sorry, but I'm not. I wish somebody just walk up behind him and just hit him. Just smack him, slap him in the back of the head. Don't get assault charges, people. But it'd be funny if I get out mid-whistle.
Well, and I'll say this. It is just as annoying in person as it is on TV. Okay, I had to look this up before I said it, but I was correct. We have not won a baseball series in Vanderbilt since 2010.
That can't be right.
That's what Grok is saying. The last time we won a series, not the last time we won their period, but the last time we won a series, yeah, 2010. Sure? I'm reading. That's what Grok says. So, and I had heard on either one of the radio shows or another podcast like ours or something that it had been a while, but I was thinking it was like 2015.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I figured it was closer than that. Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about baseball. We've talked about the guys in the tournament. Here's something that I want to talk about that we normally don't. Arkansas women's basketball has a new head hog because Mike Neighbors, we wish him well. He's now an assistant with the LA Sparks. I don't know what it is about our former coaches and them bolting to LA. It's nothing but never mind. I can't say what
I'll say this. I'm glad to see Neighbors land on his feet. It just, for whatever reason, man, it stopped working here.
Yeah. It just, the gears quick.
Yeah.
Quick grinding. And, I don't know much about Kelsi. Is it
Kelsi Musick? She was at Oral Roberts prior to coming here. Had not to me, this is a bit concerning because she had not taken Oral Roberts to the NCAA tournament in the time that she was there. She did improve the record while she was there. 2-3 years, I believe, is what she was there.
Didn't she? Did she come into Bud Walton this year and like spank us?
Yes.
Spank us very, very badly.
Yeah, I mean, but who didn't?
On top of all that, now you've got 2 transfers in the portal too.
Well, and then not only that, it's I don't want to be disrespectful to the new hire. I'm willing to give her a chance, but the names you hear thrown out that might be interested in this job, and you look at their resumes, and then one of them ends up going to Missouri, the other one ends up going to Arizona State. And then it's like it's almost like we were turned down on our first 2, 3, 4 options, and this is what was left.
Let me tell you why. Okay, we had Molly Miller, and from what I've been told, and I'm working on confirming what I've been told, but rumor has it. I'm not going to say the S word because it'll trigger somebody, but rumor has it that the only reason Mike walked away and they gave him the decision, the choice to resign, was because they could hire and had Molly Miller in the bag. Okay. But they they were in a somewhat of a bidding war with Arizona State. And as that price went up, Hunter Needachek said, I'm not going to pay that.
He met his limit. So how many times have we heard this exact scenario play out?
It gets deeper. Okay, it gets deeper. That's never mind. So now you're left scrambling because your number 2 didn't want the job. Okay, Destiny Rogers got an extension at A-State.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you don't know what to do. Does this sound familiar? Does this storyline sound familiar?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah, we've seen this movie a few times now.
I think MC says it in our intro. We've seen this movie before.
It's
now become a pattern. Now, again,
what's the common denominator in this pattern?
I'm going to give Kelsi Musick a chance.
Yeah, I will too. Okay? Yeah.
But here's the thing. She has got such an uphill battle going against her because where's the NIL money? Okay. Yeah. She doesn't have the war chest that John Calipari's got.
She doesn't have a chicken man in her corner.
No.
She's got her work cut out for her.
The biggest
kudos to her for taking the
question
task,
I have. The biggest question I have is not can she win or will she win? Will the administration allow her to have success?
And that's not the first time we've asked that question.
Well, when you've got and again, yes, 4 out of his 5 years, 3 out of his 5 years, whatever you want to say with that COVID year. Yes, Arkansas has been to a bowl game. Sam Pittman has gotten Arkansas to the postseason. Okay, consecutively.
Yeah, but that's not the goal. That's not the goal.
The goal is the playoffs or national title. Okay, Eric Musselman, when he was here, Sweet 16s, Elite 8s. Mm-hmm. Problem was he couldn't get to the Final Four.
Well, and there were rumblings that Muss, and I don't know how true this is, but there were rumblings that Muss was not happy with the NIL situation either, because obviously he didn't have the relationship.
Go to the biggest college in Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, it was home.
And he's concerned about NIL? Come on.
It was an opportunity to go back home and still coach. And let's face it, you're in the LA market. I mean, if you do anything at all, you're going to get attention because of where you are. Now, that said, they're sitting at home on the couch this year. But look, Muss is a good coach. And how he left here is how he left here. So I think, given time, I think he'll turn that program around.
Here's a stat for you, MC. 27 points to 1 point.
Okay.
Florida's bench points. 57 to 1.
See what I mean with how deep they are? I mean,
a minute and a half to go, 85-69 Florida. So you've got your first 2 locks. Yeah. The Elite 8, and guess what conference they came from?
The one where it just means more.
Yep. The SEC.
The one that everybody was saying got too many bids.
Hey.
So and y'all know,
like Ric Flair said in the 80s, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Well, and you guys know I'm not the big flag waver for the SEC as a whole. I don't do that, but I would like to revisit some of these people that said that the SEC didn't deserve the 14 bids, because you've got 25% of the Sweet 16, and now you've already got 2 teams in the Elite 8 with a chance of more. I mean, it is what it is.
Florida had 40 rebounds in this game.
That's ridiculous. That is just absolutely ridiculous. 16
assists, 17 turnovers. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 28 to 30, 36-28 was points in the paint.
I mean, it wasn't, if you think back, if you follow SEC basketball for a long time like I have, it wasn't that long ago that the SEC, and I'll just call a spade, it was Kentucky and everybody else. But then they went and hired, and I cannot remember the gentleman's name. If Matt's still watching, he can probably tell us who this guy was, but they hired a guy from the Big East. Big East is historically one of the best basketball conferences to ever exist. Now, it's not the same now as what it once was.
MC, but, before we wrap up here, just a second. One of our youngest fans has been cheering on the Hogs all day long.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought this up.
I meant to put this up earlier, but y'all check this out.
Here, let me turn my camera off for a minute.
This is little Evie. This is little Evie from Virginia. She is cheering on the Hogs from daycare. This is coming from Carolyn Williams.
That's cool.
So we wanted to show that. And like I said, we like to show off the fans. Let me put me back up here.
Yeah.
You guys, if y'all are repping us, if you're repping the Hogs, send us the pictures. We'll put you up on air. Just like Nikki Ashmore in her jersey, little Evie. So we're all about fans. Like I said, we're fans ourselves. Lucky wants to know, where's all the blue bloods? I just like to say right now, Auburn, not a blue blood.
Yeah. Not yet. They're
not a blue blood.
They're trying.
They're
trying, but they're not there yet. So, all right. So I want
to. Looks like your final from the Florida Maryland game. So Florida awaits the winner of Texas Tech and Arkansas coming up at 9:09 in just over 50 15,
about
20 minutes from now?
about 20 minutes. So I want to do hot take on tonight's game, and then you can send us out.
Right.
What's your hot take on tonight's game?
I think we see a Duthiero. I think Cal's been keeping him under wraps just to kind of throw Texas Tech off. But I don't think you're going to. Well, and I've been going back and forth on this because I don't know, because he said Boogie Flam was only going to get 10 to 15 minutes, but he ended up playing
he played like a
25. It all depends on how Thiero's knee is.
Yeah, we
could see him as little as 5 minutes. We could see him play, 20 to 25. We don't know.
Yeah.
These guys have got to get locked in.
Yeah,
but I think
they are.
I think you're going to see Arkansas be the third team to lock in to the Elite Eight, and the train keeps on rolling, dude.
Here's my hot take on the night. Big Z gets us a double-double.
Oh,
he's been struggling. He has not been himself. He's overdue for a good game.
Oh.
Big Z, I'm gonna say Big Z goes 14-10 tonight. And I'll say this right now, we get 14 points from Big Z tonight after the way he's been playing so far, we're headed to the Elite Eight.
Louder.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I gotta go downstairs and get some food and then come back up here, but I'm ready.
So tip-off is just under 20 minutes away. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up a little bit early so you guys can get your drinks, get your food, get an energy drink, or,
better get that caffeine.
Get a 5-hour energy, because it's going to be a long night. We may or may not do post-game, but guess what? Turn your notifications on your social media platforms, because you never know the loudest mouth in the fan base and his wild band of misfits are going to say. For Marcus MC Carlton and D-Mad, I'm Razorback Zach. Big thank you to Chris Lanzilli.
There you go.
And we'll get to talk to him in the morning. I'm excited. 101.1 FM, The Answer, 501-823-0965. And for those of you that watch the live stream, I'm going to have a very special guest in studio. All right, that's going to do it for us. Enjoy the game, everybody. Thank you for watching another episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.